Hey there, Tallahassee. Welcome to another live edition for our FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Jack Holland alongside student meteorologist Nicole Madden. Now, Nicole, we've been staying relatively dry in the Tallahassee region, but our friends to the west in Colorado have been seeing a lot of rain in their area.
That's right, Jack. Actually, they have seen torrential rains up to 9.6 inches of rain since Monday, which has brought extreme flooding to the area. Nearly 400 students from Colorado University in Boulder had to be evacuated, and there have been 3 casualties thus far.
Yes, speaking of the Colorado University, there's actually most buildings on campus have actually seen 6 inches of water seep into their buildings. So that campus should be shut down for the next few days because of a lot of rain in the region. So a lot of flooding concerns.
Right.
And unfortunately, with Colorado, there's more rain in the forecast for the next few days.
Yeah, that's right. Actually, that photo that we just had up was from Shane Michael, and that was near 28th Street on campus near the Engineering Center. But we do have more rain in store for the next few days. So sadly, if we ever had flooding concerns in our area, up to 6 inches of rain can sweep you right off your feet, and a foot of rain can take your car away.
Yeah, the best practice is if you ever do see flooding in your region, make sure you go to higher grounds. Make sure you don't drive through standing water. You don't want to get swept away through a foot of rain. So be careful of that if you ever do see flooding regions. But we're going to send it over to Pete as he takes us around the nation.
Hey, thank you very much, Jack. And for those in Colorado, obviously a scary situation with all the flooding. But for us, 90s remain in control of our weather, especially for tomorrow, looking to be another warm day with highs in the mid-90s. We are checking the tropics, and we are anticipating the arrival of Ingrid. Recently, at 5 p.m. this evening, National Hurricane Center upgraded the area of disturbed weather in the Bay of Campeche to Tropical Depression 10, so we'll have a full update later on in the program. But cooling trend for next week as the next front will sag southward. We may actually see highs in the 80s. Not what we saw today, though, as you see this little bubble of 90s right over the Capital District, 92 this hour in Tallahassee, 93 in Valdosta. You factor in that moisture, and it really begins to feel like a scorcher, even 95 at Panama City. So that heat index is definitely in full control as there is no rainfall, any cloud cover to get in the way. Satellite and radar looks very clear, but for more on the forecast, we're going to move ahead in the show and send it back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Pete. Now let's kick things off on a lighter note. We're going to talk about the game in Foxborough.
Yeah, me and Nicole actually have a bet on who's going to win the Patriots-Jets game today.
Yeah, well, I thought you were going to say the Patriots. The Jets, obviously. I'm a big Jets fan.
See, I got Patriots +3 today, actually. So.
Awesome for you. You're going to be going down.
Unfortunately, though, they will actually be seeing some rain in their area as well. They have a cold front sweeping through the region, which could see some thunderstorms and lightning in the area, so the game could actually be delayed for a little bit.
That's right. There's even a potential for some hail and some heavy winds as well, so that might be affecting the game a little bit today. There's that 90% chance of precipitation, and they could receive up to 7/10 of an inch.
Yeah, so we're going to see how Geno Smith does in some rain away in Foxborough, so it should be some scary conditions for him. I think Tom Brady will be able to handle the heat.
He's going to be great. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Geno Smith has it.
Yeah.
It's in the bag.
I don't know. Who do you root for there, Nicole?
Obviously the Jets. Let's be serious here.
Well, you know, my Cleveland Browns take it away. But we're going to send it back to home, and I'm going to take you guys around the local. Look at these numbers. So we reached a high of 92 degrees today with an early morning low of 71 degrees, right around our average. But we're going to get another summer blast of heat in our region, so be wary of that. Currently, though, around the airport, 92 degrees, partly cloudy skies above us. Our dew point is only sitting at 63 degrees, so we're feeling a lot more comfortable out there. We're not seeing those dew points in 70 degrees, so that's when you start feeling very oppressive and muggy across the board. We're going to take a look at those current temperatures all across the region. 92 in Tallahassee, 86 in Quincy, 95 in Bainbridge, 90 in St. Marks, 87 down in Carabel as we make our way towards the eastern viewing area, 89 in Monticello, and 91 degrees in Perry. So warm conditions persist across the area. Our dew points are lower than what we've been seeing for the most of the summer, so we're staying a little more comfortable across the region, but they're still pretty high. 63 in Tallahassee, 66 in Quincy, and 66 degrees in St. Marks. Now, the dew point measures the amount of moisture in the area, and you add that together with the temperature, that's when you get the heat index, and that's when they start climbing up when those temperatures are high and those dew points are high. So currently, it feels like it's 94 in Tallahassee, 101 degrees it feels like in Bainbridge, so very hot and sticky in the interior parts of Georgia. Our local radar not showing a lot of storms popping up. We do have a sea breeze effect, as you can see by this green blue line making its way up into Perry, but usually with the sea breeze, it wants to come into, hey Pete, it wants to come into the region and catch a lot of moisture, but in the upper levels of the air, there's a lot of dry air, so we've been staying away from it. So we've been staying relatively dry across the Big Bend region, which is pretty nice considering the wet summer that we had. Satellite and radar is showing we're staying relatively dry all parts of the southeast and the Albany and Macon, but as we make our way towards the northern part of the south, you see those cold front starting to drift its way down into the region, which will start bringing us our rain chances, making its way into Saturday. So we could see our football game having some rain chances in the area as we take on Nevada at 3:30 on Saturday. High conditions, though, on Friday afternoon as we make our way into the night. That cold front starts getting closer to us, and that's why those rain chances start spiking up into Saturday afternoon. We start converging with that front, which will cause some higher rain chances. Now jumping in tonight, what we can expect, 69 degrees, less than a 20% chance of rain, hit or miss shower here and there. It should be a pleasant night though. Make sure you go out there and enjoy it. Tomorrow's forecast though, a hot one, 94 degrees in Tallahassee. We could see some warmer conditions making their way into Bainbridge, even getting up to 96, 97 degrees. It's probably going to be our last full blast of heat into the region, but we'll start getting into those fall conditions pretty soon. But it'll be very hot and a lot of sunshine in the morning, but we could see some showers in the afternoon. Beach forecast though, a great day to get out there, enjoy that hot weather. 7-day forecast showing us though, rain chances creeping into our weekend, 40% chance of rain on our Saturday tailgate as the FSU Seminoles take on Nevada, so we're very excited about that, but we're going to send it to Troy as he takes us around the southeast.
Very, very toasty throughout much of the region. 92 degrees in the capital city of Florida, and still 93 degrees in Tupelo, Mississippi. So you know the story. Very, very hot and toasty throughout much of the southeast. And combined with the effects of the toastiness is our dew points. And remember, dew point is a good indicator as to how much moisture there is in the atmosphere. And the higher the dew point, of course, the more humid it is. And fortunately, across, particularly around the upper portions of the southeast, we're sitting the dew points in the lower 60s. And last week, and even early week, we were sitting in the 70s. And when dew points get in the 70s, that means oppressive, humid conditions, folks. So fortunately, for those of you going outside right now, especially you college students in Tallahassee, you probably noticed that it was definitely more comfortable and just pleasant, which is what I like, by the way, and I'm sure most of you do too. But in the meantime, moving on towards your satellite and radar, you can see that as I step out to the left of the screen, you will note that we do have some showers around Central Florida, particularly around the Orlando area. So folks there, just make sure you have an umbrella if you have any outdoor activities. And we do have some moisture in the Gulf of Mexico. And that, folks, is associated with our newly formed Tropical Depression 10, formed right in the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico, in the Bay of Campeche, just at 5 o'clock. And it's expected to become Tropical Storm Ingrid in the near future. But Pete will have more of that at your tropical update. But in the meantime, closer to home, look here. We have a cold front that's about to skag southward towards the Florida region. We're still baking in very, very hot conditions around the Big Bend region. But as we extend out towards Friday afternoon, just in time for the weekend, that front is still taking its sweet time. Man, it's just so slow, folks, but that will allow our rain chances to increase. And unfortunately, folks, game day Saturday, I know the chance for rain is high and high on. So just please have that umbrella if you're going out. But that shouldn't stop your chances of having fun, you know, right? Just, hey. But in the meantime, tonight's forecast, quite mild for this time of night, 69 degrees in the capital city of Florida, and 67 degrees in Montgomery. And we're looking at towards tomorrow's forecast. Again, more heat and humidity. Most of the folks in the southeast baking in the 90s. But we're going to take it back up to the desk with Jack and Pete. And Pete, how are you feeling about the game on Saturday?
I'm feeling confident. It's FSU versus Nevada. Definitely a must-grab ticket if you're in town. Jack, how about you?
I don't know. I think it'll be quite the blowout. But we should see some rain chances in the area, so hopefully we don't see too many showers in the region. But
Yeah.
be ready for that, though.
We'll definitely see the kickoff forecast later in the program, but hey, Jack, I'm glad you joined me here at the desk. I was feeling lonesome.
I know. I saw you out here by yourself, so I decided to join you, Pete.
That's very awesome. And again, September is the month of extremes. As we're going to take a look around the nation, you'll definitely see some cooling trends. I think that's what we have in store.
Yeah, you know, Nicole's going to take us out into the National in a bit. You could see those rain chances into Colorado. Colorado, which had been bringing a lot of flooding into the region.
Yes, that flooding for Colorado State was just very dramatic when you saw those pictures of just the flooding that was extreme, and many evacuations for it as well. But for more on that extreme weather, let's send it off to Nicole around our nation.
Thank you, Pete. That's right. Those flooding chances are very scary right now, and that is the big story across the U.S. There is that flood warning in Denver that with all those rains still coming, and really there's no relief from those rains just yet, but hopefully later on into the weekend, those rain chances will decrease. Up in Minneapolis, there is a frost and freeze warning, the very first of the season heading up for them, and taking it over to the northeast for the big game today. We do have a few severe thunderstorm warnings across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York, just bringing up those severe storms as that cold front's moving onto the area. Rain cooled is what the story is into the Four Corners, especially into Colorado. 62 degrees right now, 72 in Albuquerque, 79 in Salt Lake City. The rest of the country is still feeling those summer temperatures. It is very warm. 84 in Memphis, 91 in New Orleans, and the east, as that cold front is pushing through, also rain cooled. 74 in Washington, D.C., and 77 at Boston at this hour. Satellite and radar shows that low pressure system really just still building up all of that rain that is still coming down across the Four Corners, especially into the Denver area. So our thoughts and prayers go out to them, as the flooding concerns are still a huge factor. And taking a look at this cold front that is pushing through the center of the U.S. and into the northeast, there is that chance for severe storms. Taking a look closer into the Denver area, those storms really are just pushing on still, just churning up all of that rain and moisture, but hopefully things will calm down in just a bit. And moving things over into the northeast, those storms are pushing off to the east, bringing along with it just slight chance of showers into the southern part of the U.S., as well as with those cooler temperatures. But the northeast has more to talk about, as those severe storms are pushing up, as that heating from the day is really firing up those storms right now. Boston will be seeing the potential for hail and heavy winds later on into today, and my hometown in the Wilkes-Barre-Scranton area will also be seeing some severe weather later on this evening. Taking a look back home into Florida, we do have just some sea breeze effect showers pushing on into the region. But other than that, we are looking nice and clear here in Tallahassee. Weather delays, just a few into the northeast of Washington, D.C., as well as Boston right now. And tomorrow, take a look at that gradient as those temperatures are cooling down from that cold front. Same thing for tomorrow. Those temperatures are dipping way down. Hey, Nikki, what's going on around the rest of Florida?
Well, things are looking quite warm, especially today. We did see quite a warm one out there on September 12th, a high of 92 degrees. So definitely wasn't too pleasant to be out there, especially on your walk to class, dropping a couple beads of sweat. I saw some people, so it wasn't too enjoyable. But yet again, we're at the end of summer. It's expected to be a little bit warm like this. So current conditions right now, 90 degrees, partly cloudy skies. Dew point sitting at 63 degrees. So fairly on the moisture side. Do have a little bit of wetter conditions out there, especially with that that upper level low that moved out last night. So brought in a little bit of moisture, but back to the currents. We do have much of the Big Bend area sitting in a warmer condition, 90 in Tallahassee, like I said, and in St. Marks. Down by Carabel and Apalachicola, we are seeing a little bit of cooler conditions just from the sea breeze, but looking like a pretty hot one, especially up there in Bainbridge. Over with the dew points, so we are seeing, like I said, a little bit of moisture out there, especially along the coast. 72 down there in Carabel, and for the rest of the Big Bend, we are seeing things in the 60s and the upper 70s as well. So some moisture still out there. Things dried out a little bit today, but of course, with the pop-up shower possible for tonight, the dew points did go up just a tad bit. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that local radar, though. You can see that sea breeze effect that I was talking about a couple minutes ago. Just go ahead and move it on inshore, especially by Perry, possible pop-up shower or two, but really looking pretty dry for the rest of the Big Bend, especially inland, Bainbridge, Thomasville, which is actually a big part of the reason why they are so warm. They do not have that moisture. They aren't getting that pop-up shower or anything like that, so they are feeling a lot more warm for a lot of the Big Bend area. Looking at water vapor, though, this really explains the story. You can see that upper level low that started to move off to the northeast as of last night. Well, that brought in a lot of moisture yesterday, but as of right now, we're seeing a little bit more of the drier conditions. So we won't be expected to see more rain until that cold front does push on through for game day. So yes, that possibility of rain will be there on Saturday around 3:30, right when kickoff happens. So FSU versus Nevada, definitely a possibility for a pop-up shower, so bring that poncho and wear those rain boots. Be prepared just in case we do see a pop-up shower. Now there's that cold front I was talking about. That'll be moving on in Saturday, especially into the afternoon, evening hours, right when game day kickoff happens, bringing in some hot conditions at first, but as it continues to push on through, the moisture comes. So that low will go in and slide off to the east, and the rain chances will increase. So be prepared with those rain jackets. No umbrellas though, because no umbrellas aren't allowed inside the stadium if you are heading off to that game. But back to tonight, 69 degrees, pleasant night, not looking for any rain, possible pop-up shower with that sea breeze, but that's definitely more towards the coast. Winds coming out of the southwest at 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, 94 degrees, another hot one. Make sure you're prepared. Grab that water bottle if you're going out around campus. And for the boating, looking pretty good if you're out on the water, especially during these 7-day forecasts. We are going to be seeing rain chances kind of go up, especially into Saturday. Sunday and the weekend, the moisture will be definitely there. What do you think, Troy? Are you excited for the game?
Well, Nikki, unfortunately, I won't be able to go to the game.
What?
I had to get my ticket yet.
Tickets, man. That happens.
Yeah, it happens, but
Cheering us on back at home in the
go
TV?
knows, like, keep doing that chop.
Exactly.
You know? But in the meantime, we're going to shift our focus to the tropics. We're going to talk about that for a little bit. And as we mentioned earlier, we do have a newly formed tropical depression
That
10
is
in
right.
the Bay Campeche.
That was as of 5 p.m. today. Actually, NHC go ahead and made the call. Finally, tropical depression number 10. So, what do you think? Is it going to strengthen?
Well, the forecast isn't for it to strengthen. In fact, the National Hurricane Center, the 5-day forecast, has it strengthened to a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm, a moderate tropical storm at that. And it's expected to, meander, kind of do the Adriatic track over the next few days, but eventually it's going to move into Mexico. So as of right now, as it stands, it will not affect the United States. But we're going to send it back out to the desk around Florida with Connor. And Connor, how are things looking across the great Sunshine State?
Are in the 90s here in Tallahassee, and a little bit cooler down in Central Florida. We can see the lower 80s to even mid 80s there in Tampa. They are getting that sea breeze action that's really helping to cool some temperatures down off the East Coast and even the West Coast. But unfortunately, we here in Tallahassee still seeing those 90s. Fall has not kicked in just yet, but we might have a little bit of an opportunity to see those fall-like temperatures in a couple days. Now, sea surface temperatures out there right now, they're pretty warm here in the Gulf, upper 70s, and we look off to the East Coast, 83 down there, and that's pretty comfortable for these times, this time of year. Would love to be out in the water at this time, but can't do that right now. Anyway, your current winds right here, they are about 5 to 10 miles an hour eastward from the Orlando area, probably due to that sea breeze off the East Coast. And you see right here in Tallahassee, 0, and that is definitely felt if you stepped outside today. Those winds were not there. It's very hot, very muggy outside, and you can definitely feel that if you walked to class today. Now, our satellite radar right now, we can see that all this moisture off the East Coast is associated with an upper level low that will be moving right off the coast and moving upward towards the northeast, which will actually be bringing in a little bit drier conditions for us in the short term, as we do have a front that will be making its way inward towards our area towards the end of the week. But we have some moisture here, and you can see just the blow up of showers over Central Florida, so they are seeing those rain-cooled air and a little bit more comfortable out there. But right here in the Panhandle, we are dry, and that's how it is going to stay for the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, the local radar right now, we do see this sea breeze right here that is pushing inward. Unfortunately, it will not get to the Florida State campus area, so if you are out there, we will not be feeling those a little bit cooler temperatures as that sea breeze does push inland. So unfortunately, as I've been mentioning, it's just going to be hot and sticky. So if you are going outside today, just be aware of that. A little bit of zoomed in picture we can see. Not much, just a few little, really any rain to talk about. So unfortunately, just warm and dry. We go to the east a little bit more. We do see, again, pretty much the same picture across the northern part of Florida, just dry and hot. And we go down towards the south, a little bit luckier down there. They get to see some of that rain, a little bit cooler temperatures, just some storms that will pop up because of that sea breeze and go down south. They are also experiencing the same thing. As we take out, we can see tonight's forecast. We're going to be in the upper 60s, a little bit warmer and uncomfortable towards the Central Florida area in the lower 70s. And futurecast, pretty much the same deal, that we will be experiencing some of that rainfall and towards the couple days from now. But Pete, why don't you tell us a little bit more about the tropics?
Yeah, thank you very much, Connor. And tropics are where it's at. I know you definitely want to get out on the beach and boating, but let's not do it in the Bay of Campeche, shall we? We definitely have an area of concern there, which may be our next named storm. And we're talking about Tropical Depression 10. Maybe in a few hours, it might be Tropical Storm Ingrid. That's the next name on the list. Of course, you've heard all about Gabrielle and Humberto earlier on in our forecast. So let's give you the wide-angle picture, see if you can pick them out. Well, that's what's left of Gabrielle right up here, just north of Bermuda, brought 40-mile-per-hour winds to the island. Humberto is off the satellite image here, off my shoulder, but we're actually going to zoom first in on Gabrielle. Here's the center. Not much to it right now as the storm just being eaten apart by some upper-level wind shear. Here's our currents on it. Right now, 34.4 north, 67.9 west, and this forecast to deteriorate and move off to the north. Only a threat for shipping, so this is what we call a fish storm, only bothering the fishes. Here we go, move into the big player, which is Hurricane Humberto. Right here off of the coast of Africa, beginning to deteriorate a little bit in those satellite images, but it's maintaining hurricane strength as currently. Right now, 23.1 north, 29.2 west. Well, 3,500 miles east of us, so definitely a distant concern for us, not going to affect any of the weather in the continental United States. Moving off to the west and west-northwest, weakening down to a tropical storm over the northern Atlantic. But closer to home, here's the problem area. Right here in the Bay of Campeche, you have your Yucatan Peninsula right here. This area of disturbed weather. This is Tropical Depression number 10, recently upgraded at 5 p.m. by the National Hurricane Center. And give you the particulars as it sits right here in the Gulf. 19.7 north, 93.6 west, closer to us, only about 1,000 miles away. Okay, not really. It's not going to affect us, but what it will do is going to drench this region as it increases to tropical storm strength in the Gulf. It's going to meander around a bit and then generally push off to the northwest as it impacts states like Veracruz, Mexico. And these are all the areas that have been impacted by Tropical Storm Barry, Tropical Storm Fernand, and most recently Tropical Depression 8. So more rainfall in this area is not what they need, but unfortunately appears to be what they're going to get. So there's plenty of warm water in the Gulf of Mexico, Bay of Campeche to fuel the system. So it is forecast to strengthen up to maximum tropical storm force, around 60-mile-per-hour winds for the rest of the forecast. So tropics are heating up. We are on the downslide of tropical storm season. The peak was, again, September 10th. We're in the last half of the season, but we actually have 3 systems that we are watching currently. So automatically, bring it to 4FSU. We'll give you consistent updates either on our Facebook page or Twitter or on livestream.com. But for more, we're going to send it back to the desk with Nikki and Troy.
Thank you so much, Pete. And actually, the tropics aren't the only place getting that action. The Northeast as well are currently under a severe thunderstorm watch for most of the areas, such as Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and even New England.
And that is associated with the cold front that is currently moving through the region. And of course, naturally with the cold front, that normally brings the risk for potentially strong and even slightly severe thunderstorms.
And with that comes the gusty winds. Lightning is definitely something possible out there. So if you are outside, make sure you get indoors. Don't be standing outside when one of these storms does pass on through. They can be locally severe as well. So really just be on the lookout and be aware of what is going on.
And especially for you folks traveling along the I-95 corridor, particularly between cities including New York City, Philadelphia, and Boston, you definitely want to keep it safe, and because the storms can disrupt travel on the ground and in the air. But fortunately, once those storms they will pass through, and behind the cold front will just bring cooler and refreshing air. Isn't that nice?
It's going to be great. So I mean, in all honesty, you might have a little bit of severe weather for now, but better conditions are on the way. Let's go ahead and take it out actually right now with Connor for a last look at the local.
And that's right, Nikki. Better conditions are on their way, but we're going to have to wait a couple more days before we actually see those a little bit cooler temperatures. Today, right now, we got to 92 degrees, so it's really uncomfortable out there today. Our average is 89, so even a couple degrees above our average. And tonight, we are still looking at lows in the lower 70s. So once again, we're still feeling those summer-like conditions outside, even though we are approaching the fall months. Now, currently outside right now, if you do step outside, it is 90 degrees, so still warm, partly cloudy though. Not going to see much rainfall, which is a good thing if you're planning on having any outdoor activities tonight. You want to walk around or something. It is going to be hot, so make sure you do take that water bottle with you if you are going outside tonight. Now, across the area, we can see, as I just mentioned, Tallahassee is sitting at 90 and a little bit warmer as you do head inland and towards the north. Bainbridge right now at 95 degrees. not comfortable, not fall-like whatsoever, but that might change with a front that will be pushing in within the next 24 to 48 hours. Now, combine the temperature with the dew point right now, which are in the 60s, lower 60s to upper 60s up north, we feel the heat index. And the heat index is how it feels on your body when you step outside. And again, Bainbridge, you're the winner today at 101 degrees if you step outside right now. So it is not comfortable out there, very summer-like, very hot and sticky. 92 here in Tallahassee, and a little bit cooler as you do approach the coast because of that sea breeze that is pushing inland from the Gulf of Mexico, bringing a little bit cooler conditions to those parts. Now, the local radar right now, don't see much rainfall to speak of whatsoever. We do see a little bit of an indication of a Gulf of Mexico sea breeze right here that is pushing inward, so folks along the coast are a little bit luckier than us here inland, seeing those temperatures and those winds shift a little bit, bringing slightly cooler conditions off of the water there. And if we zoom out across the whole southeast, again, the story is it's dry for now, but that could change as we do move into the next couple of days. We have the local radar here, again, dry, and the water vapor, as it indicates that dry air too. The red indicates that drier air. And the blue, which you can see a little bit of a swirl right here, is the upper level low that is pushing out of our area, but bringing with it eventually we will be able to see a cold front that will be coming through our area, pushing down across the southeast, and eventually making it a way into our area. But until it gets here out ahead of that front, we are hot and muggy, and this low pressure will develop and eventually push off the coast. And went right past that graphic, but pretty much we might be able to see a little bit cooler conditions in the upper 80s as we do push in the next couple of days. Tonight's forecast, we are going to be in the upper 60s to low 70s, very similar as it was last night. Tomorrow, again, another hot one, 93 here in Tallahassee. Hopefully by this weekend, we'll be able to see cooler conditions. Pollen count, very high for this time of year. And the 7-day forecast, we're looking at up mid-90s tomorrow, but then cooling down a little bit as that front does approach. Game day forecast, 40% chance of rain possibly. So right now, we are going to take it back to the desk with Nikki and Troy. You guys excited for the game?
Well, as I mentioned earlier in the desk, I don't have my tickets, so, but hey, just want to watch it inside, cheer on your friends, going, go Noles, and all that stuff, so.
Exactly. Now, unfortunately, we do have some bad news. We did have a huge person, especially for the meteorology department, Earth and Oceanography department, go out and pass away this weekend. Dr. Lynn Murdoch-Dudley did pass away this Monday, September 9th, and was a man of many traits, a biker, a skier, a marathon runner. He did everything. He was pretty much a Superman to a lot of our students and to a lot of the friends in the surrounding community.
And another interesting fact is that he was the youngest senior professor at Utah State University, so that's another interesting fact. But in the meantime, we're going to look at your 7-day forecast. Each and every day will feature the threat for showers and thunderstorms, so game day Saturday, please and please have that umbrella because, have that chance for rain, so you don't want to get rained on. But in the meantime, you can follow us at Twitter.com and like us on Facebook and watch us anytime on livestream.com/FSU Weather. I'm student meteorologist Troy Fields.
And I'm student meteorologist Nikki Perini. Go ahead and make it a great evening.